everyone, it's Julian Dozier with the Dozier Group Real Estate Services here in Denton, Texas. We do service the Dallas and Denton markets, so if there is anything real estate related that we can help you with, we welcome you to contact us. I will go ahead and include our contact information in the comments section below. Just a quick overview about the Dozier Group. We offer mainstream real estate services, which means we can help first-time home buyers, which is really what prompted this message. We can help first-time home buyers purchase their first property. We can help existing homeowners upgrade their properties. We can help you sell your property and make sure that we get the highest return for your property. You're also real estate investors, so if you have a single family, multifamily, or commercial property, even land, if you're looking to sell and you want to go ahead and cash in, don't want to have to go through the renovation hassles, we can assist you with that as well. We have the ability to pay cash and close rather quickly. So we welcome you to contact us about any of those services. Also, if you have some unorthodox items that you'd like to discuss, we welcome you to contact us about that as well. What we're going to talk about today is Homestead Exemption. So this is a benefit that is offered for Texas residents. We don't have state tax, so the way that is kind of offset is through property tax. And before we go any further, I'm just going to give a quick disclaimer. I am not an attorney. I'm not here to offer any legal advice. I am a realtor, a licensed realtor in the state of Texas. And so all of the information that is contained herein is strictly for informational purposes. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and get into our topic. So what exactly is a homestead exemption? The easiest definition that I can give you, or the easiest way that I can explain it, it is a way to reduce your property value for the purposes of paying your taxes. So, to make that even easier to understand, if you have a property that is valued at $100,000, $100,000, and you receive an exemption for $25,000, then your new assessed property value is going to be $75,000, which means that's all you will be responsible for paying taxes on. The rates, the amount of tax, the rate that you're taxed at is dependent on the county that you live in. So, it's very important that you know that there is not one overarching tax rate for the entire state of Texas. Those rates are dependent on the county that you live in. So it's very important. What I will do, if you look below, I'm going to go ahead and include a PDF document which shows the various rates for each county. Unfortunately, I can't guarantee that they are 100% accurate. I can't even guarantee that all counties are included on there. I'm pretty sure that they are, but just in case they're not, don't hold me accountable for that. This is something that I downloaded from one of the county websites, and just from a initial glance, I do believe all the counties are on there. But the most important thing is that you check with your local county office to find out what your tax rate is. Now, there are several different exemptions that are offered by the state. And so there are, number one, the Homestead Exemption, which is what this topic is all about. Number two, there is a 65 and older and disabled persons exemption. And number three, there is a veterans exemption. So the only consistent one of those exemptions that I just mentioned, the only one that is somewhat consistent is the veterans, simply because the veterans exemption is dependent on the compensable disability that the veteran is receiving. So, just to give you a brief overview, let me switch screens here. The ratings or the exemptions that are that veterans benefit from. If you have and these are service connected disabilities, so it was important that I mentioned that. But if your rating is 10 to 29%, you get a $5,000 exemption. So from the example that I used before, if your house is valued at $100,000, you get a homestead exemption for $25,000. Well, now your tax value is your homestead value is now $75,000. Well, if you're a veteran that receives 10% compensable disability, you're going to get that $5,000 credit. So now your taxable value has now been reduced down to $70,000. And so whatever your local municipality tax rate is, you're going to be taxed based on 70% of that home's value. So, or $70,000, not 70%, $70,000 versus the $100,000. So I hope I made that explanation simple. If not, what I'm going to encourage you to do is get with your local county tax assessor's office, find out what the rate is. Like I say, the one consistent thing about this whole process is the veterans exemptions. So if you, and I'm going to go back over that again, just so there's 100% clarity on that. So if you're a veteran that is receiving a service-connected disability and they're rated between 10 and 29%, you get a $5,000 exemption. If you're rated 30 to 49%, you get a $7,500 exemption. If your rating is 50 to 69%, then there's a $10,000 exemption. And from 70 to, it says on here 100%, but I want to say they probably meant 99%. There's a $12,000 exemption. The reason why I say 99% is because they also have a stipulation that if you're a veteran that is receiving 100% disability, there's a tax code section 11.131, and I'm going to go ahead and read it just so I am articulating it correctly and that I'm not goofing up the code at all. So it says requires this tax code section 11.131 requires an exemption of the total appraised value of the homestead of Texas veterans who received 100% compensation from the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs due to a 100% disability rating or a determination of an individual that is unemployable by the United States Department of Veteran Affairs. So it's specifically says in there requires an exemption of the total appraised value of the homestead of the Texas veteran. So I am pretty certain that in this situation, if a veteran is receiving 100% service-connected disability, they are excluded from their property taxes. So if I am wrong, I stand corrected. You can go ahead and make your comments known at the bottom, and I will come back and modify this or add an additional video to correct myself. But I'm pretty certain the tax code is literally in black and white. So there are a few other exemptions I'm not really going to get into because it really doesn't apply to most people. But the other exemptions that the state offers are for organizations that are basically nonprofits. So they're exemptions that are, like nonprofit businesses and organizations. There's also an exemption for solar, wind, and Yeah, for solar wind. So if you're using one of those products, then there are some exemptions that's offered for that as well. For that, because I'm really not here to get into all of those, I'm just trying to deal with the homestead itself. I would refer you to your the Comptroller's tax code, or make it easy on yourself and contact your local tax assessor's office, and they'll be happy to explain it to you too. Now, I can tell you that as we get further into into January, February, March, their offices get extremely busy. So sometimes if you want to take care of business, you may just have to make a trip there and talk to somebody face to face to make sure that you're absolutely clear. So there's another important point that I want to make on the over 65 and disabled persons exemption. So if, say for example, you are 65, over the age of 65, and you do have a qualifiable disability, then you cannot combine, although they're two different exemptions, you cannot combine the two. You have to make a determination on which of the two that you are going to select. So, and I caution you be familiar with the exemptions that are being offered, because they are, again, they're not consistent. They're not the same. So just because, say, one county is offering, say they're offering a $50,000 exemption for 65 and older, that may not be the same for the disability exemption. So that they may be only offering $20,000, and so in that case, you have to pick which of the two exemptions you want. And because they're not the same, I caution you to go ahead and find out what those exemptions are, and take the one that's going to best benefit you. So that's all I have for today. Again, this presentation has been given to you by Julian Dozier with the J. Dozier Group. If there is anything that we can help you with, if you live in the Dallas area, the Denton area, actually if you live anywhere in Texas and you need a good realtor, we have the ability to reach out to other agents in other areas. We can find you a reputable area and kind of facilitate the process that way. But we welcome you. Call us directly. Phone number is, the local number is 940-310-1015. The 800 number is 877-J-Dozier. Real simple. So thank you for your time. All of the links or all the information that I've talked about will be provided below. Again, if this content was, or if this segment was beneficial to you, if you found some value in it, thank you in advance, and we welcome you to hit the like button below. Go ahead and subscribe to our site. If there's topics that you're interested in hearing about, go ahead and reach out to us. You can go ahead and put it in the comments section below, and we'll be happy to touch on those in some upcoming videos. So with that said, thank you so much for your time, and you all have a fantastic night.